Alright, this week's episode of Sword Art Online. I am still a little mad, but wait, not for the same reasons as the last two episodes. Kirito barely made me mad in this episode. Barely. What I'm really mad about is the cliffhanger. That's the second cliffhanger in a row. Cliffhangers are fine and are to be expected, especially with the kind of villain we're being given, the kind of risk that the characters are going through. You know, they can die in this game. That's understandable. There's going to be cliffhangers. But to have them one after another is not a good idea. It's just pretentious. It's just like, oh my god, Death Gun is about to kill this person. Will he succeed? Find out next week. Okay, I don't even know who this guy is, so I'm assuming he's going to die. I already know that. I don't need to wait a week to find that out. And then the end of this episode, oh my god, he's about to kill Sinon. Will she die? Find out next week. I'm like, okay, I know she's not going to die because she's incredibly prominent in both the opening and the ending, so she's not going to die. And now I'm afraid that the next episode will be Kirito versus Death Gun. You know, he comes in and saves Sinon, and it just leads to a big battle, and it ends with Death Gun, you know, with Kirito on the floor and Death Gun pointing his gun at him, and it'll be like, oh my god, will Kirito die? Find out next week. It's like, god damn it, stop giving me cliffhangers. We don't need cliffhangers. Not one after another. It gets annoying. So ultimately, yes, Kirito did not piss me off about, you know, the majority of this episode. It was mostly the cliffhanger. But all in all, the rest of the episode was fine. I like seeing the beginning where everyone that Kirito knows, which is surprisingly a very small group, mostly consisting of girls, again, yeah, and they're watching this battle of bullets. So even from another game, you can actually watch other people playing. Now, I don't know if they're watching a channel from the real world that's been brought into the game world, or they're actually able to get a live feed from game to game, showing that every game is actually connected. It's not just, you gotta get out of this game to get into this game. No, you can actually see what other games are doing from your own game, and you can even teleport to that game. I don't know, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. It just makes me more anxious to want to learn more about the worlds we're in. Like, are they actually connected? If they are, can we explore that? But ultimately, yeah, that's not the point, you know. Once again, Death Gun proves he's an intimidating villain. Good God, is he causing so much fear. And again, it becomes a problem when he's a character that was originally from the first season, and yet we never actually met him. And it's a big problem that's going to play a bigger part in the ending of this season. And I can already see how it's going to go. He's going to be revealed, you know, and people are going to be shocked. I can't believe it was you. You know, I remember you. I remember this person. But as a viewer, I'm going to sit there thinking, who are you? I don't know you. And they'll give like a flashback or backstory to make you care about him in the last minute, but it's not going to work because I'm not going to have had the time to get to know this person as well as maybe one of the main characters, because we know their story. We went along with them and we grew with them, but not this guy. That's why I don't like the fact that they're bringing up these new scenes, this new aspect of the first season that wasn't even introduced in the first season into the second season. It's almost as if they're saying, the first season wasn't that good. We're sorry. The second season will be better. You know, because we'll add this new stuff that was supposed to be in the first season, but now it's here in the second season. That's pretty much them saying, guess what, guys? You don't need to watch the first season because we know it's shit. Forget it. The second season is the real thing you have to watch. And you can't do that. Because mistakes are made to learn from them. You guys aren't learning from your mistake of the first season. You're ignoring your mistake from the first season. That helps no one. It just confuses the audience and just really, you know, shows off that you guys really don't care about what you're creating. But either way, because Death Gun is the mask. He is the mask. you can't just take off the mask and still expect me to be afraid of the guy behind it. Even if you give him this backstory and that he's from the main character's past, I'm not gonna care, because I didn't get to know this person from the first season, like Kirito or Asuna or Klein did. And he's just gonna be the mask to me. Without that mask, he's not gonna be anything. The minute he takes off that mask and reveals his face, I'm gonna be, well, I'm done caring about this villain. I don't know him. I don't care about him. I don't sympathize with him. I don't see where he's coming from, because he's no longer the mask. The mask is everything with this guy. And until he takes off that mask, I'm still gonna be excited for Death Gun. Death Gun right now is still fantastic for a villain. He's definitely a fearsome opponent that we should not underestimate, that we should expect can do anything. He is essentially, with his hacks, god of this world. And it deepens it more by showing that he doesn't need any fancy moves or any fancy attacks. And sure, you can say he has the flashy technology, you know, the invisibility, the weaponry, the stun gun, and then the gun that can actually kill in real life. But he doesn't need anything else. You know, those are just tools that he's able to use to make himself, you know, his plan succeed. So he's more of an intelligent fighter rather than a frontal fighter like Kirito or Sinon. So it just makes it even more confusing when I have to see Kirito with his sword doing all these flips and everything, and when all he's doing is deflecting bullets. That's the scene where I got angry too at Kirito. Not because it was Kirito, but it was the same thing with Pale Rider. With Pale Rider, I can chalk it up to he was dodging bullets. So okay, he was doing these fancy flips to avoid bullets. I don't understand why he did the upside down flip, because that's actually detrimental to avoiding bullets, but whatever. But when Kirito started doing all those flips and everything, all he was doing was deflecting bullets. He didn't need to do flips and everything like yaw, 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 yaw to deflect bullets. You can just use your sword to just doom, 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 done. You don't need to woo. It's over the top, and at that point you're just showing off. And show-offs, I don't know why people still like them, but to me, show-offs are not cool. They're just show-offs, and really, I don't need to see that, and especially not from my main character. But either way, other than that, nothing really pissed me off about this episode. Asuna was gonna go talk to the people who hired Kirito, and I'm sure she's gonna find out about what's going on. Hopefully not from the actual people that work there, because they're a government agency. They should be able to hide information. But maybe she'll break in somehow and find a file. Part of me is afraid of her getting into the game, because if she joins the game this late, it's gonna be, she's gonna realize Sinon has a thing for Kirito. She's gonna be constantly watching her, and it's gonna be, and then Shinon's gonna see Asuna, find out she's Kirito's girlfriend, and she's gonna have this pain in her chest. She's jealous, and it's just, I don't need that. I don't need to see that in Sword Art Online. I don't need to see the storm of jealousy, and I hope Asuna does not get herself involved in this whole escapade. I really do, because we don't need this whole love triangle added to, because it'll just make me angry at Kirito more, but then angry at Asuna, and then angry at Sinon. I don't want to be angry at any of these main characters. I want to feel for them. I want to back them up, especially when Death Gun finally reveals himself, which I know he's gonna do. And finally, the final thing I want to talk about is the handgun that Death Gun is using. Now, Sinon sees it as the gun that she used to kill that bank robber. Now, immediately I can already see a lot of people assuming, oh my god, it's someone she knows, maybe it's her friend. But I don't know, maybe she was hallucinating. Because when you're being faced with death, you start to panic, you start to hallucinate, especially about your fear. And she's afraid of that specific handgun. And maybe the game itself has that design. Maybe it's, you know, the guns have to be based on real life gun designs, of course, with a couple exceptions, you know, for gameplay mechanics. But I don't know, maybe it's just coincidence, or maybe she's panicking and hallucinating. Who knows? Because at this point, I doubt Deathgun has a personal connection to Sinon, because again, he's targeting her not because he knows her. He's targeting her because she's a high-ranking player like everyone else was that he killed. But now he's targeting her because she's close to Kirito, and he wants to anger Kirito and really see that angry blade that he remembers from SAO. So again, like I said, there were some aspects that annoy me and piss me off about this show, but ultimately I do like the show. I want to see it succeed. I want to sympathize with the main characters, but sometimes it's really hard to do so. And hell, Deathgun, I know eventually will take off his mask, and I'll stop caring about him too, because like I said, without a proper backstory, I'm not gonna care about this guy. He is essentially become the mask. Without the mask, he's no longer an opponent to fear. Because he's turned himself into a symbol. As soon as you turn that symbol into a human being that you can just destroy and that's it, then he was never a good villain to begin with. But either way, I did like this episode, and I do not expect Sinon to be killed next week. But I'm also hoping there's no cliffhanger again next week. Cliffhangers are just annoying if they're constantly one after each other. So either way, good episode. I liked it. I'd have to give it maybe a 6, which is good, out of 10. So either way, next week, until then, I'm Tony Dragon. Bye bye.